Now Gavin and I are going to battle it out for real. On God. This is the worst.
Oh, nice block. Oh, my hand. Ow.
All right, yeah, I know, thanks. All right, so fake battle, real life battle. Let's read one more time from Exodus chapter 17, verse 10 through 13. I'll read it now. Here we go. So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on one side, one on the other, so that his hands remained steady till sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. With the sword! Yes, Joshua, mighty warrior. So, most people, Gavin, read this story and they go, whoa, that's crazy. They were winning whenever Moses, oh, hold on. Stop. So Moses, Aaron, and Hur? Not like her, like a girl, H-U-R. It was like another dude that was helping Moses. So Aaron and Hur were like holding up his arms, right? And every time he held up his arms, Joshua and the army were winning. But when his arms weren't up, not winning, right? Okay, that's pretty obvious, right? So, but here's the thing, most people like focus on that part of the story, but what about Joshua during this whole time? Like, it says Moses ordered him to keep fighting, to fight the Amalekite army until they defeated them, right? These were the bad guys they had to defeat. It was really, God's orders. And so Moses is like, Joshua, you gotta win this battle. And Joshua was like, for the Lord, let's do this. That's how he did it. He was like, for the Lord. Anyway, I don't know. But he had to keep fighting. I almost lost the staff. Let's put that away. So he had to keep fighting, right? So it was like a constant battle until they won. So it didn't matter if Moses was holding up his arms or not, Joshua had to keep fighting. And that's our main point today, is because we're not fighting real life battles. No, hopefully not. There are awesome soldiers out there that protect our country, but you as kids shouldn't be soldiers right now. You guys are just going to school, doing your thing, and the fight that you fight is a little different. It can be in your heart, in your mind. Sometimes you encounter tough stuff at home, at school, and it can feel like a real battle.
Yeah, well, there's a time where I'm sure you guys can maybe relate to this, where I used to play sports when I was in high school, and I was on the JV team, which means I wasn't the best player. And I wanted to play varsity, as all of us want to play on the varsity team, but every day at practice, I kept trying and kept practicing, and I would do things wrong, and the coach would try to make me do it right, and it seemed like I would never be able to play varsity. But even through all that hard stuff, it felt like a battle, because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get better, even though I tried, and I wouldn't be able to play varsity. But until one day where the coach actually saw how hard I was working, that I wasn't giving up, that I kept fighting and kept trying to get better, he actually let me play a varsity game. Wow. Now, did I score? No.
Yeah.
But I got to play, and that was awesome. And I wouldn't have if I would have stopped fighting.
Yeah, and you don't mean like actually picking fights with your teammates.
Not at all.
Was this basketball?
It was basketball. Yes, it was basketball.
Basketball, okay. Yeah, I wasn't very good at basketball, but from my own life, I actually did like kind of a real life fight. I took martial arts for a while. Some of you have heard me tell some stories about that. And there are these two guys in the martial arts class that were just, I had to really fight them. Like we would spar, you put on gloves and stuff and you would fight each other for, points. Not like a real life fight, thank goodness. But they were kind of frustrating and annoying to me. Like they were kind of like bullies, but what I tried to do is I had a really good friend who helped me see hey, their home life isn't so great. Like the reason why they're so mean is because their dad left, right? Their parents divorced, and I understood my parents divorced, and so I knew what that felt like. So it was a battle for me to trust Jesus after my parents divorced, and so I knew I needed to be kind to them. So that was kind of my fight, to be kind to these guys, even though they weren't kind to me. and also actually fight them in karate class. But the greater fight was to show them the love of Jesus and the kindness of Jesus when they weren't so kind. So I don't know what you guys are facing. It's hopefully not like Joshua, a real battle. Da-da! All right, no, hopefully not that. But sometimes it can feel like a battle. It can feel like a fight. And so I just encourage you guys, you're gonna talk more about this in your small groups, how this relates to your life specifically. But like Joshua, you guys are mighty warriors for Jesus, mighty warriors for God, and I want you to keep fighting, keep battling out, do the right thing, listen to people who are in charge, just like Joshua listened to Moses, followed his orders, so you gotta do that. But keep fighting, and we'll talk to you next time.